You know that moment when you're lying in bed at night and your brain suddenly decides it's the perfect time to replay every conversation you've had in the past week? One moment you're trying to sleep, and the next your mind is asking questions like, why did I say that? Or did they mean something else by that comment? Meanwhile, everyone else seems to fall asleep in about 3 seconds. If that sounds familiar, chances are you've been told at least once that you overthink things. Maybe people have called you weird, intense, or too analytical. But here's the twist. Many of the habits people casually label as strange are actually linked to higher intelligence. Psychologists have noticed for years that people with high cognitive ability often behave in ways that seem unusual on the surface. Underneath, those habits reveal a brain that's constantly analyzing, connecting ideas, and questioning the world. So if you've ever felt slightly out of sync with others, maybe it's not because something is wrong. Maybe your brain simply works a little differently. One common weird habit appears in social situations. Imagine a group of friends sitting around a table, laughing and talking over each other. Stories are flying back and forth, everyone trying to add their piece to the conversation. But there's always that one person who mostly stays quiet. They're not scrolling on their phone, and they're not bored. They're watching, listening, taking everything in. Many people assume that if someone doesn't talk much, they must not have much to say. But highly intelligent individuals often process information more deeply before speaking. Their brain is constantly evaluating what's happening around them. They notice tone changes, facial expressions, hidden meanings, and small pauses in conversation that others miss. While everyone else reacts quickly, the quiet observer is thinking several steps ahead. They might be analyzing the logic behind someone's argument or sensing tension between two people that nobody else noticed. And when they finally do speak, their comment often shifts the conversation in a meaningful way. If you've ever been the person who listens more than you talk, it might not be because you're shy. Sometimes it simply means your brain prefers to observe first and speak once the full picture becomes clear. Another habit people often joke about is overthinking. You ask someone a simple question like, where should we eat tonight? And suddenly the discussion becomes a complicated analysis. They start weighing every possible option. One restaurant might be closer, but the other has better reviews. Maybe one place will be too crowded at this time. Maybe traffic will be worse if you go later. To someone watching, it can seem unnecessarily complicated. But overthinking is often a sign of a brain that automatically considers multiple scenarios at once. Research suggests that highly intelligent people tend to have stronger working memory and stronger pattern recognition abilities. Their mind instinctively scans for variables and possible outcomes. The downside is that small decisions can take longer because the brain refuses to ignore details. But the upside is that when real problems appear, complex work challenges, strategic planning, or difficult life situations, this same mental habit becomes incredibly valuable. The person who overanalyzes small choices is often the same person who can untangle complicated problems when everyone else feels stuck. Then there's a behavior that many people secretly do but rarely admit, talking to themselves. Maybe you've caught yourself pacing around the room explaining an idea out loud even though nobody else is there. Or perhaps you're working on something difficult and you suddenly say, wait, that doesn't make sense. To some people, it might seem strange, but psychologists recognize this as a powerful thinking strategy. Speaking out loud helps organize complex thoughts and clarify ideas. When intelligent individuals verbalize their thinking, they're turning internal thoughts into something more structured and easier to examine. Language becomes a tool for sorting through confusion and testing ideas. By hearing thoughts spoken out loud, the brain processes them differently and often finds solutions faster. That's why you'll often notice writers, programmers, scientists, and engineers quietly muttering while they work. They're not being odd, they're simply using language as a way to guide their thinking and bring clarity to complicated ideas. Curiosity is another habit that can sometimes look scattered from the outside. You might start reading about something simple and suddenly find yourself 20 minutes later learning about astrophysics, ancient history, or the psychology of dreams. Your interests jump quickly from one topic to another, and your browser might end up with 10 open tabs at once. Some people might see this as distraction, but it's often connected to divergent thinking. Instead of focusing narrowly on one line of thought, highly intelligent minds explore many directions at the same time. They search for connections between ideas that seem unrelated. This curiosity fuels creativity because innovation often happens when different concepts suddenly overlap. Many groundbreaking ideas were born from someone connecting knowledge from completely different fields. What looks chaotic from the outside can actually be a mind building a huge network of ideas behind the scenes. Another habit that often surprises people is the tendency for many intelligent individuals to be night owls. While some people wake up early feeling productive, others find their mind becomes most active late at night. Midnight can feel like the most peaceful, focused moment of the day. The world becomes quiet. Notifications stop. Conversations fade. Without interruptions, the mind finally has room to wander through ideas and explore deeper thoughts. Some research has found correlations between higher intelligence and later sleep patterns. One explanation is that analytical minds remain mentally active longer, continuing to process thoughts even when the body is tired. Another possibility is that nighttime simply removes distractions, allowing deeper focus. Many creative thinkers, writers, and inventors throughout history were known for doing their best thinking when the rest of the world was asleep. There's also a subtle habit many intelligent people share, questioning things that others accept automatically. They don't always follow rules simply because that's the way it's always been done. Instead, their mind naturally asks why. Why is this system built this way? Is there a better approach? Could this idea be improved? Sometimes this questioning attitude can make them seem difficult, rebellious, or stubborn, especially in structured environments like school or traditional workplaces. But historically, this same trait is what drives progress. Many breakthroughs started with someone who looked at the accepted norm and asked a simple but powerful question: what if there's another way? The willingness to question assumptions is often what separates routine thinking from true innovation. Of course, none of these habits alone automatically means someone has a high IQ. Plenty of people overthink, stay up late, or talk to themselves occasionally. But when several of these behaviors appear together, deep observation, curiosity, mental simulations, reflective thinking, and constant questioning, they often point to a mind that processes the world differently. These individuals tend to notice patterns others overlook, explore ideas more deeply, and challenge assumptions more frequently. Sometimes that difference can make a person feel slightly out of place, as if everyone else is following a simpler script while their brain keeps asking extra questions. But that weirdness may not be a flaw at all. In many cases, it's simply the natural result of a mind that refuses to stop exploring. So now it's worth asking yourself something. Which of these habits felt familiar while listening? Are you the quiet observer who studies conversations before speaking? The person who analyzes even small decisions from multiple angles? The curious wanderer jumping from topic to topic late at night? Or maybe someone you know fits these patterns perfectly? The next time someone calls a habit weird, it might be worth remembering that unusual behaviors sometimes reveal a mind that's working in deeper and more complex ways than people expect. And sometimes the very traits that make someone feel different are the same traits that help them see possibilities the rest of the world hasn't noticed yet.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Hit the like button if this helped you.